Welcome. You're now part of another episode of the Respawn Podcast, your weekly update on all things God, gaming, and more nonsense than you're ready for. Rosa and Pastor Steven, bringing faith in video games right to your ears. Let's get this started.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
What they do? What they do? What they do? What they do? What they do?
You seem really enthusiastic for a girl that just made me wait a massive period of time for her to start this podcast.
Don't want to hear it, Mister.
We're not.
We're gonna meet together, and I'm gonna drag it out so far last week, and I get here, and then we're 45 minutes to an hour into this, and you're like, oh, I forgot to press record.
So if you guys are wondering why we did not have an episode last week, it is not that we went on vacation, although that would have been fun. We recorded a full-blown episode, and about 45 minutes in,
Record it. Fix yourself. Correct yourself.
we talked an episode, and about 45 minutes in, I was
We
like,
had a podcast
wait,
amongst ourselves.
can we talk about how it happened? So we're finishing up the gaming segment, and then it hit.
Talk about how good it was too.
I never
Like,
told you this.
it was
I never
the
told
best
you
one.
this. Oh, it was definitely the best podcast. I'm so sad that didn't get recorded. But we were at the end of the gaming session, and I looked at Rosa, and in my head, I was like, I never pressed record. But I couldn't say that because what if I did press record? You know what I mean? Like, what if I did press record? So I was like, I gotta wait. I gotta sit here with this thought in my head. I sat for 5 minutes while we finished that segment. And then I was like, Rosa, hold on. I didn't even tell you that I didn't do that. I was like, hold on. I went to check and I said nothing.
You were just laughing, but I instantly knew.
Yeah.
I instantly knew.
She was like, Rosa, you were like, please tell me you recorded this entire thing.
I instantly knew. I could tell by the way you were laughing. Like you just had the I didn't record laugh. I don't know.
And then we sat there for like 4 minutes just laughing without talking.
I thought you were going to be mad at me. Like, what? That was the funniest thing that's ever happened to me.
And then after 4 minutes of laughing, all you hear is Rosa go, well, no podcast this week.
Let's go stream.
Oh, gosh.
And then we were like, if we jump back into it, like, it's not going to be real. It's not going to be raw.
Yeah.
It's not going to be genuine. It's going to be like, feels like it's rehearsed. I don't want to do it again.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. But hold on, before we get into...
So just know, guys, we had an amazing podcast last week.
Well, I'm actually glad. I mean, I'm sad that we didn't post it.
You know what? I know what it is.
What?
That talk had to happen. Not only for us, but Natalie, my Nat, that's constantly in the room.
Did you just name your bug in the room?
Bro, I can't kill her, so I might as well just name her.
Wow.
Her name's Natalie. And she's here right now. Every time we podcast, I mean, she just makes an appearance. So
It was for her.
Yeah.
We just genderized your bug.
I can't. I'm beside myself at this point. I'm gonna build her a little gnat house.
This just took a weird turn.
How was your week?
Good. I've got really good news to tell you, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till I hear about your week.
You've been saying that for the past
'Cause
hour.
you're
It's
gonna
literally
love-
giving me so much anxiety.
You're
I don't
gonna
like
love the
surprises.
news. Our podcast audience is gonna love the news, and you're gonna go. You, Rosa, are gonna go nuts. But before I get into that, I dove into podcast stats this week because we didn't have a podcast last week. Talk about that in a minute. Week was pretty good. I've been grinding Warzone. Busy day, like week at the church. We had like this family service at church, and I don't lead communion at church because that's just something my lead pastor does. But my lead pastor thought it'd be a good, I need to talk to him about this. Thought it'd be a good idea to dress up like an angel. And
An angel?
An angel and like full wings and everything. And thought it'd be a good idea to preach like an angel preaching to humans. So because he did that, yeah, that happened. Plus, if you're listening to this, I do not go to the church that you are currently imagining. I promise you.
I was just about to say.
I go to a.
You got some people with some wild imaginations right now.
I go to a pretty old school Baptist church. So this is out there, but because of that, he needed to change in and out of his stuff. So I led communion, which that doesn't happen ever, which is cool. So I got to do that. We had lunch, which is why we were recording this podcast late, because I was like, hey, Rosa, can't record on Sunday because church is busy. And now we're recording really late this week. But week's been like good. I mean, I can't complain. It's just been busy.
Okay, don't care about your week
Busy,
anymore.
busy,
Tell me the news.
No, tell me your week first.
I mean, I've had a good week.
Yeah.
I don't know. I went and got myself a new outfit with my birthday money,
Yeah.
and that was pretty sick. Felt like $1 million.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Noah's school is going well, except for the past 2 days. His iPad is messed up. They like reset all of the school, like the virtual students' iPads.
Oh my gosh.
And it's you might not know what I'm talking about, but like there's all kinds of loopholes. You've got to download this app,
Yeah, I
you've got
bet.
to download that app, you've got to install this new thing, and then you get to the place like where you download apps and stuff, like on your regular
Yeah.
phone, how you have to enter your Apple ID and all that stuff. Well, they assigned him one. I put that bad boy in there, password, everything. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Connect. I'm like, okay, maybe I entered something wrong.
Yeah.
Did it again. Okay, I mean, I have been sleep deprived. Maybe there's a chance that I entered it wrong 2 times. 3 times, and I was like, get it away from me before it goes out the window. Literally called his teacher, we chatted, we talked, and she was like, oh, we're gonna reset it again, turn it off and turn it back on. Did it again. It's still doing the same
That
thing.
was why
So
you needed to talk to her that one day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's literally been so annoying, like to the point where I'm just about to stick him on the bus and just send him. I'm not really, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's been really, that part's been really annoying. So instead of him meeting with his teacher like face to face
Yeah.
on the iPad, every morning I'm having to like sit down and like be Miss Teacher, and
You should just full homeschool at this point. Call
that's
my
basically
wife.
what we've been doing.
Call my
honestly.
wife. You can join the Henrica's School of Elementary, and you guys can just be the next two. Just call Kat. I think you should just fully homeschool at this point. That's what we're getting to.
I mean, it seems like there are some days where it's like fairly easy because they're like watching videos or something,
Yeah.
that goes along with their lesson and stuff. So I can still kind of piddle around the house and do whatever,
Yeah.
listen to music, whatever I want to do. But then there's other times like when it's actual hands-on and I have to like sit there in it.
Well,
If you have kids, you're going to understand what I'm saying. But there is nothing more annoying than watching your child like do schoolwork and like you're trying to help and they're like just not getting it.
oh yeah.
I understand now. Whenever I used to
Nope.
bring homework
Yep.
home and I would like be trying to like, have help from my mom or something and her getting like mad, annoyed.
Because it's like, dude, you
I
don't
understand
get
it
this
now.
yet? Yeah.
I'm like, are you even paying attention? Like
That's
what?
That's exactly how my wife sounds. See, our home. So here's what happens with us. We
I
went to
literally
church.
took a painting off of the
No.
wall.
Listen,
I literally
we-
took a painting off of the wall in the dining
No.
room where he learns because I was like, maybe he's just staring at the painting too long. He's not paying attention. Like, it's coming down. It's coming down.
Okay, here's what happened at our homeschool, right? So we're doing something with the 3-year-old. No, with the 5-year-old. The 3-year-old decides and this is after church. He's gonna get
I love how you're
naked.
describing them by their names right now.
He's gonna get naked.
Babe, did you get the 3-year-old? Yeah, I
That's
got
exactly.
him. What about the 5?
That's exactly how I describe him. He's getting naked. He gets full blown booty naked, right? Takes like a Walmart like plastic bag, and I never told you this, and shoved it in his cheeks, but not his rear cheeks. But then he shoved it just enough. Wait. He shoved it just enough where only a little bit was inside of his cheeks, and the rest of the bag was dangling out like a cape. As he ran around the house pretending like he was a lion with a tail now behind him. That's what goes down in our homeschool. So if you'd like to join, let me know. He was butt naked, Rosa. A little bag minorly shoved in.
Whoa. We gotta stop. The way The way it hit me when you said not his front cheeks, his rear cheeks. The way, oh my god, that hit me like a ton of bricks. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's so funny. That reminds me of like, dude, kids do the darnest things
Yeah, bro.
and
Yeah.
and say. Remember the
Yeah.
my mom told me not to talk
Yeah.
thing when Noah sliced his face open.
Uh-huh.
I actually, it's so wild. Today, whenever I was at the grocery store,
Yeah.
when you first texted me to do the podcast, and I was like, I'm at the grocery store. Guess who I saw?
The doctor?
The lady, the doctor
The nurse,
that
yeah.
stitched Noah up.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my God, you remember me? And I was like, girl, how could I forget? Like, that was one
Yeah.
of the most traumatic. I gave her a hug. We
Aw.
like chatted. But she had her son with her.
Mhm.
And I'm like, chatting with him. He's like 7, and his first words to me is dead face. Like, I'm gonna try to do it.
Yeah.
don't make me laugh. My dad doesn't have a job. Dead
Oh,
face,
gosh.
bro. She was like, "This is my son. He's 7. His name's I can't even remember what his name was now, but he literally looks me dead in the face.
They were
and was like-
probably talking about something,
they probably were.
and she was like, "No, honey, you know
Like
Dad
on
doesn't
the
have a
way
job right
on the
now."
way to
Yep.
Walmart, she was like, "Get a real job." Literally, so funny. So me and her and Noah and him, we all just like looked at each other and just started busting out laughing.
I just got a text message from Jesse, Inspiration Youth, a friend of both of us, that says, "By the way, don't forget to press record on the podcast."
Yeah, I literally. So when we thought we were gonna be filming the podcast last night,
Yeah.
I ended stream early because I was like, I'm gonna, I
Yeah.
want to save some energy for the podcast or whatever. I end stream and Smile,
Uh-huh.
my W moderator, messages me and he was like good luck on the podcast or something, like hope the podcast goes great or something like that, and tell Steven make sure he presses record.
That's gonna be everybody's thing. Yeah, that's gonna
Yeah.
be the thing for a while.
I'm never. You're gonna be 80 years old. And recording's not even gonna be a thing. Like at that point, we're probably gonna be able to like blink twice and like capture stuff. But I'm gonna rail you about it. I'm gonna be coming through the doorway on my little cane.
No.
Can you press record,
No.
Steven? Steven, can you press record?
Why is your old voice? I'm not even talking about that. Listen, I
Sound like
have
an old man.
come to
Yeah.
the conclusion that I decided to make a podcast with Rosa, and now everybody likes Rosa, and I've become the butt joke of every single person in the universe right now. Like somebody in my stream was like,
Not the
"Steven-"
butt joke.
Somebody in my stream was like, "Steven has a grand idea of creating podcasts." Then they put like an arrow going down. Steven's like chat community roasting him from that moment on and praising his co-host.
That's funny. That's actually really cute though.
No, it was funny.
No,
I've
there's been a
got
lot of people that
big
say
news
like
to share
that
here.
we do really well together.
when we're not fighting. They don't see the behind the scenes. Oh, she's pretending like she doesn't just straight up. But you know what? Look, I got news to share that I don't want to drown.
You just share
down
the
with
news
this.
and stop dragging it. Like, why do you do this?
Okay, I'm gonna share
Why
the
do you do
news.
this?
I'm gonna share the news.
Okay, I'm gonna share the news. This is like
And
you're
then
like
we're
the
gonna go
dentist that's
right
like,
into a review.
I'm about to pull your tooth. I'm about to pull it.
Don't come for the dentist.
about
I
to pull
love
the-
the dentist, okay? They're the
Okay, can you
greatest
just share the
doctors in the
news?
world. All right, as of
Goodness
right
gracious.
now, I
I feel like I'm watching your stream where you were about to announce the podcast all over again.
That was one of my favorite streams ever. Okay, stop interrupting me. That was one of my favorite streams ever. Listen, as of right now, we are recording this on December 14th. It's a Tuesday. We are sitting at the number 2 spot for the entire gaming category in South Africa right now. Your mic just cut off. Your mic just cut off. There's more. There's more.
I'm sorry.
There's more.
We're
There's
in
more.
Africa?
Wait, we're not just in Africa. Hold on, hold on. In South Africa right now, let me get through all three. We are currently the number 2 ranked gaming podcast, the number 11th ranked leisure podcast, and we are currently, of every podcast known to man, we are right now sitting at the 164th spot altogether. We are number 2 in gaming right now. Right now, at this moment. Her mic just cut, by the way, because she screamed so loud. You screamed so loud,
Sorry.
your mic just cut.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everybody listening. I'm sorry.
Big W.
Bro, the moment you said Africa, my spleen went into my... I'm not going to finish that. What?
Yeah, we are overall 164. Overall,
What
every category, every podcast, number 164.
Whoa. I have so many questions now. How?
I don't know. What do you mean how?
We just started.
What are you telling me? I don't know.
And like, what is it based off of? Like, how many people listen to us? How many downloads
This is
we have?
off.
Like,
I believe this is off of our. Apple and Spotify. I believe. Maybe just Apple, but I'm pretty sure it's our Apple and Spotify downloads.
I
Yeah.
wear size small and extra small and almost everything, guys.
Who was that?
Just in case any, sponsorships.
I don't even want to know what kind of sponsorships are going to come from that, but yeah.
we are. Spyro. Sorry.
And I mean that's just South Africa. Obviously,
That's wild.
we're ranked differently in every country.
That's
but
wild.
for the country of South Africa, we are literally 164 overall, which I think that's crazy. But we're in the number 2 gaming podcast and the number 11 leisure podcast right now.
Crazy.
You keep cutting off because you're so loud, just so you know. She's if you're not watching the video version, she has been screaming really loud, so her mic just
I'm sorry. All right. Can you still hear me good?
I don't know. You just adjusted every audio setting possible, so.
I'm sorry.
Hey, how about we jump into a review? You can unwind, and then we'll take this to the review.
Holy crap.
I know it
What the
is
heck?
pretty freaking wild. Let's get into a review.
Please, we can't afford a single slip up. They're judging us.
Review. Yes, good stuff. Here you go. Have a rate.
All right.
So I would like to say it is because of reviews. I think that we're doing so well on Apple Podcasts because we have a lot of reviews on Apple Podcasts. They're all 5 stars. And the categories I just told you from are definitely part Apple Podcasts. So if you are listening to us on an iPhone or your mom has an iPhone, go take it. Go to Respawn Podcast and drop a review. We might read it next week.
Please jack your mom's phone. Please
Take it.
do it for us.
Take it.
But make sure you give it back because the Lord does not like a thief.
The Lord likes when you review our podcast on Apple Podcasts. He just doesn't like when you keep your mom's phone after the fact.
It's actually that's blasphemous. Never mind. I'm not even gonna. I am gonna say it because you guys know my sense of humor. It's actually the 11th commandment.
Yeah.
It's there. Anyway.
All right, Rose, you got a review for us?
All right, I'm getting instantly chastised. We're doing this now?
Oh my gosh.
Okay. All right. Iowa Navy vet.
That's
The W.
just made him a Twitch
Wavy
mod.
wet. Wavy wet. Chicken. Okay. I have changed my alarm tone to a song reminding me to worship the Lord, so it's the first thing that I hear. It has helped me to balance God a little bit better. It has also helped me to balance the other parts of my life.
That's really cool. He's talking about because we
W.
were talking about how to prioritize God. That's really cool.
We were talking about like how do we balance,
Yeah.
life, everything plus
Yeah.
God. That's a really good answer, actually.
That's cool.
And
Yeah.
it kind of goes along with what you said. Like if you put him at the start of your day, then like it kind of makes it flow. Not only like are you starting the day on the right
Yeah.
foot, but that's good.
Yeah, what was I gonna say? I have been appreciated people like sharing their responses on the YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you can drop a comment. Let us know that you're listening. But I've appreciated like people just responding to the questions that we talk about, you know? Like you and I are having a conversation, and then somebody would jump like that.
You know what I really
share their
like when everybody
update.
agreed with my superhero.
You're gonna always, I swear, we're gonna be on like episode 200. You're like, what do you like this week, Rosa? This week, I like remembering that everybody liked my superhero 200 episodes ago.
You're right. You're right. It's gonna go down along with you've never pressed record.
Gosh. Hey guys, we read, or Rosa at least reads a review or a YouTube comment every single week. If you're listening on us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can't do it there, but please drop a review on Apple Podcasts. Head over to the YouTube.
Work your fingers
drop us a
to
comment
the
there.
bone.
Work
your
it.
fingers to the bone. Click on the little
I'm
place.
telling you,
IPA review.
you need to have a channel point on your stream where you talk British for 5 minutes.
But it happened. Like I do it for free. Like it comes out all the time. I don't understand it. I really don't. It's like there's a switch. There's a switch in my brain. I was literally playing Halo the other day and killed a man and instantly went British. Like I don't understand it. I really don't.
Oh, that's funny.
And sometimes it happens when I get killed. Like, you smelly little sock. Like, what? Who is this inside of me? Why are there so many?
Gosh.
I don't understand it.
Cue awkward silence. You want to get into some God?
We can have a moment of silence for you never pressing record.
Okay, let's get into some God topic.
All right. Yeah, let's go.
Talk about God, and let's talk about faith. Okay, let's hear it.
All right. Today's topic that we literally just decided secretly when we hit pause on record for 10 seconds.
Make sure you hit record.
Behind the scenes
Double
stuff
check,
that you guys,
triple check.
I can't double check. I can't. I mean, I could, but it would destroy the YouTube video right now. So you've just got to trust for the next 10 minutes that I recorded. All right. Today's God topic is, and this is a really good question. What about good people in response to like heaven or hell? Like we often think like, oh, if you make bad choices, you go to hell. What about the good people in the world? Why would God send them as well for not choosing Jesus?
First last time.
What?
You go first.
I go. As you were just nodding your head, I was like, is she gonna tell me to go first?
Go first.
I mean,
That's me nudging you.
my thing is, I think that we like what's a good person, right? Like what is a good person? Because a good person in America is really different than a good person in Pakistan. And that's really different than a good person in North Korea. So first you tell me what a good person is, and then I will tell you that you are judging a good person based off of your understanding and not God's understanding.
I don't think they exist.
Yeah. I mean, ideally there's none. That's why the Bible says there is no good, not one. I mean, it's not no good except one, meaning Jesus.
But
Like,
if I weren't a believer, person who just tries to put love in the world,
yeah.
like in all of their interactions and all their conversations and all their doings and things like that. I mean, where could you go wrong with something like that?
What do you mean?
And that's like if you're just a lovely person, you know, you try your best, you help out, you show love, go out of your way to show love and be like courteous and, you know, all the good mushy things that destroy cold little black hearts.
Mm-hmm. You mean
Stuff like that. Like just being a genuine person. Like that to me is how I would view a good person.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
So I think like, let's just go biblically. Like God's perfection, right? And his standard has always been perfection. His standard for heaven has always been perfection.
Which is impossible.
Exactly. So you take any quote unquote good whatever person and you match them up. Well, if you've never been perfect, you're not going to match up. So you automatically don't fit the quota because you're just a little bit less than where God is ranking, or, you know, in reality, it's way less than God is ranking. Exactly. So That's why the whole argument is like, there's no such thing as good people. My favorite thing when it comes to like the good people talk is, by whose standard, right? Because it's whose standard? Because it can't be yours. It's God's standard. So then if we're judging by God's standard, I like this thing called Living Waters. I like the way they talk to people. They walk people. It's actually how I do my gospel presentations when I'm talking to students at the church. They walk you through the gospel in such a great way. They're like, well, if God's good, like if he's a good God, he wouldn't send so-and-so to hell because they're a really nice person, right?
Yeah.
And so my response is always, well, the Bible says God's a good judge, right? Like a good judge, right? So remember that as we're going to do what we're going to do. And then I walk them through.
Aren't afraid to swing the hammer every
Exactly.
now and then.
And I walk them through.
Just like your
God's
moderators
law.
in your chat. You want them to have good vibes and put
Exactly.
out love and positivity. But if somebody comes in there, talking cross,
Yeah, and the whole thing is like,
don't be afraid to just,
just like that.
I did just do that. Wow.
Well, the whole thing is judging off of like God's standard, right? So I take them through God's standard. I'm like, have you ever told a lie? Because that's the commandment. Have you ever told a lie? And then they'll always say, yes. To which my response is,
You're a liar.
yeah, what are you? What does that make you? And then they say on their own, and I don't say it for them. They say they're a liar. And then I'll say, okay, cool. Have you ever blah, blah, blah. And then I always hit them with like the big one that hit me and that hits most people is Jesus said, you've heard it say, if you commit adultery, that's fornication, blah, blah. But I say, now this is Jesus saying, but I say, if you even look at a woman with lust in your thoughts, you've already done the action. So then I'll look at them and I'll say, have you ever looked with blah, 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 looked with lust? And then everybody, of course, immediately says yes. Like, well, what does that make you? And then by the end of it, they're a lying, thieving, fornicating adulterer at heart. And if God judged you by those standards, what would you go to heaven or hell? And then sometimes people will say, well, I'll go to heaven. It doesn't, like, I'm still a good person. I'm a good person. I'd go to heaven. So then I always hit them with, awesome. Let's say I was driving a car and I ran somebody over. Like I ran them over, right? Massively. Or let's say I raped somebody, right? And then I got to court. Let's say that one. Let's say I raped somebody and I got to court. And I looked the judge in the eyes and I said, I know I did that one thing. That one thing. But here's all the list of things Pastor Steven has done. The judge would look at me and say, yeah, but that's irrelevant to the thing we are discussing right now. And did you or did you not do it? And God's a good judge. So if he's going to judge accordingly, you're going to get hell. So it doesn't matter what you think is good. It's what is good in God's eyes.
Me is the other response is when people just kind of like accept, like, well, I guess I'd go to hell then. It's like, do you know about the Muffin Man? Like, do you know what's down there?
Yeah. Well, they think it's a party. It's like, well, if all these other people are going to be down there,
I think that's a
I'd rather
problem
be
in
there.
today's churches. It's all about like, you are enough. God has mercy. God has grace, which is all great. Like, don't get me wrong.
You gotta have both.
I don't think hell
Both.
is being talked about enough to where people understand what's waiting for
You gotta have both.
But also, I feel like you have to be careful with that because you don't necessarily want people to be like in fear to the point where they're like, oh, I'm a Christian now because like I'm just petrified.
Yeah.
Like the whole fear mongering type thing. Like
That's
that's
why
not
I love-
why I would love for somebody to be saved, but
That's why.
at the same time, there's so many people out there that's just like, hell is just you burn forever. It's like, you're literally not going to have a moment of peace. Like,
I mean,
there's
it's
gonna be
it's way
people
worse.
biting you, people scratching you. Like, not an inch of your body is not going to be like covered by somebody else, pretty much.
Well, and
you're
like
just going to be.
that's why I love that, like, I call it Living Waters presentation of how they present the gospel, because they take you through what you need to go through before you get the grace aspect of it, but they do both. So like if I was talking to a student and they were like, walk me through the gospel, I'd walk them through the Bible, but I mean, if they wanted to walk individually, like, where do I line up? I would do what I just did. I'd be like, well, here's what the Bible says is the standard. Have you ever done blah, 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 blah? Okay, you don't meet the standard. So by God's admission, you'd be going to hell, right? They'd say yes eventually. Yeah. And then, so I'd give them...
But that's even... This is like, even if they're willing to talk to
Exactly. You got to get there. But I'd give them that, and then after I gave them that, it's like giving them the diagnosis so that they will then take the pill, and then the pill is me coming in with grace and saying, but here's the deal, you know that you don't have to, because, and then I walk into the whole Jesus, what he did for you, why he did it, he proved it when he rose 3 days later, and because of that, he comes into your courtroom, stands in front of you, and says, yeah, look, and then when God looks at you, he looks at you like Rosa, but he sees you through the image of Jesus that's perfect, and he's like, oh, she's good. So you get both. You get that, like, I deserve bad stuff with the grace good stuff. And I feel like some churches only give you the bad stuff, hell, and some churches only give you the good stuff. And it's like, if you were going to a doctor and they only told you to take the pill and they didn't tell you the diagnosis, you'd be like, I don't want to take the pill. But on the flip side, if you went to the doctor and they just gave you the diagnosis and they're like, all right, good luck, you wouldn't know what to do with it. And that's what churches do. They don't do both. And I think you got to give them the diagnosis, you're going to hell.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And give them the pill.
It's like hit and miss both places.
I know.
But
yeah, we always get
I have
on
a
this.
really off the wall question, by the way.
Place.
I don't know. Do you think? Because I've thought about this before. Judgment Day, you're standing in front of God, and like in the Bible, it talks about how you're going to give an account for everything that you did.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a chance to, like, I don't know. In my head, it's like you have a chance to, like, combat what he's saying.
No, so
because, like, what's the point in that? Like, oh, I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't have taken that piece of gum out of my mom's purse. I mean, that's a terrible example, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't seem like that's going to be a very leveling experience. Like, what in the world can I even say? You know? I'm just going to be like, you got me. You got me. I don't know.
So
that's kind of wild to me to think about. Because there's some people out there that literally think that, like, well, then I'm just going to tell them.
yeah, it's not in that sense. Like when you're looking at that passage, I was trying to pull it up, but I can't find it. But when you're looking at the passage, it's not like it's going to be like a courtroom setting where it's going to be played, right? Like your entire life is played, but you're judged on it. You don't necessarily have the ability to, like, you know, negate it. Like it's going to be there, right? And like truth is going to come out. So like you think in our courtrooms now, lies can come out. Like I can hire a lawyer to say things a certain way. Yeah, exactly. But you're talking about the courtroom of courtrooms where nothing but truth is going to come out. So there will be no, like, combating it, if that makes sense. It's just the truth of the truth of the account. That's why it talks about how, like, everything's going to be revealed. Because, like, I might have a version of the story that nobody really knows. Well, when we get to heaven, you're going to see the real version of the story, good or bad. And I think that's what can be confusing, I think, is that if you don't know God, right, what we're saying, you might be thinking it's not real. But what we're saying is that when you get to heaven, or when you get to God, you're going to give an account of that life that you lived, the full package. If you're a Christian, though, on the other hand, you're not going to give an account for your whole life. You're going to be spared that judgment, and you're going to give an account for the life you lived as a Christian, and you're either going to get minor rewards or really good rewards for it. And there's two different judgments. There's a judgment of the people that just choose to not follow God. And yeah, some people are going to get harsher punishments than other, for sure. And there's going to be the judgment of the Christians that it's different. And you're not being judged off of the bad things you did. You're being judged on how you chose to live as a Christian. But there's no pain. There's no crying. There's no suffering in it. What I think is even scarier than all that is in the New Testament, Paul talks about being saved through the fire. And what he's saying is, like, imagine like a door's closing and there's fire around it, like hell. The door's closing and you just sneak through and you feel the heat and you just made it through. That's how some people are going to get to heaven. And you're going to make it through, but you made it just through the fire. And Paul's talking about, like, we should run the race well so that you have the account in heaven of, look at everything I got to do through the grace of God, not the, dang, I'm just happy to be here,
Yeah.
And
at the skin of your teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, it talks about it. It says literally save through the fire. Like,
Yeah.
right by it.
I don't know.
Heavy topics we
That's
just
wild.
switched to, but
That's okay.
anyway, yeah, I
It
used
always
to think
happens.
the whole good people thing too, but I think when I realized like, yeah, it's good by my standard because what's good? And then if you tell me like, no, but good people is blah 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 blah, well, that doesn't matter because if you think there's no God, then your version of good doesn't matter because it doesn't matter. Like my version of good could be good. The people in India or whatever country, not India, the people in whatever country that think it's okay to be with little children, that's good to them. You know, like who are you to tell them it's not? You have to have a standard, and I'm telling you, there's such a thing as God's standard, and by God's standard, I don't care how good you think you are, you're not good enough. So trust in Jesus.
I feel like there's good people that don't make it to heaven all the time.
Yeah, by our standards, for sure, because you could be good and have.
Then you have those people. Then you have the types of people that like. Well, I mean, not types of people. Like I'm saying, like I'm on like some kind of pedestal or something. But like, I remember having this conversation with somebody, and they were like, "So, then what's the point?" I'm like, "What?" And it's like, "So you're telling me basically," because it was like the story, like I was telling them about like grace and like, you know, and they were like, "Well, so." I mean, they could just say that they believed and
What's the
continue
point of it?
living their life
Mhm.
normally. And I'm like, no, like it's different than like, I don't know. This is a terrible example, but
Yeah.
You've had a dog that's like so eager to please you, like anything that you
I've
want
heard
them to
this
do.
one before.
You know what I'm saying?
By you, yeah.
We said it. I said it last week whenever you weren't recording. You know, he's so eager to like bring you stuff or do the tricks that you want him to do or something. And it's because he loves you. And I know this is like kind of a terrible example, but
I've got a different example for this, but I like
that's
yours.
the same. It's like almost like the same concept. Like being obedient out of love is not the same as just following a list of.
Well, it's the reverse.
Making sure you're checking the boxes.
It's the reverse.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Everybody thinks
I don't
you
know.
have to.
I was like, it's not like that.
It's the opposite
But
of
at
that.
the same time, if you're about what you say you're about, if you are about your Father's business, it's not going to be nothing to you to just like have like a moral code inside of you because it's in there.
Well,
once you know it and you believe it, it's in there. It's in there and in there and in there. So for you to go out and go sleep with a girl and you know that that's wrong, if the Holy Spirit's not eating you up about that, then might be a little red flag.
This
like,
was one of the things that like when I researched other religions when I didn't grow up Christian. Like I became a Christian at 21 years old. Trust me, I looked at other options. And like when I looked at them, I realized when I became a Christian, I realized all the other ones are man-made because they all go by the same thinking. This is how the whole world thinks. We always think you have to do something to get something. Christianity is the only one. You get something and then you decide to do something because of it. So like the whole world thinks, well, I've got to do things in order to get the reward. I got to earn heaven. And it's like, no, it's the opposite. It's like, I choose to not mistreat my wife, like Katrina, my wife, not because I have to, right? When my door's shut in my house, nobody knows what happens, right?
Because Rosa would kill you.
No, but like nobody knows, nobody knows what goes on in our house, right? So I don't have to do anything. I choose to do that because I love and I care about her. So it's the same thing. It's like you love God, and because of that, I don't want to do those things anymore. It's not that I have to, it's that I don't want to. So the response to that, people always say is like, oh, but like you could just say you love God and then do whatever. And it's like, yeah, but God knows, first of all, God knows your heart. So you're not fooling nobody. You might fool everybody here and then you die only to realize you didn't fool God, first of all. And then what was I going to say? You do it like it's almost like proving that you're the real deal, like because you love God, you don't do those things anymore, not the opposite. So you're not trying like to do that. There's so much more peace in it too. Like I don't have to wake up and be like 10 things I got to do today.
thing that everybody talks about with like relationships and stuff. Like your actions are louder than your words.
If he would, sister. No,
Yeah.
what is it? Is if he could.
If he wanted to make time
Yes,
for you,
there you go.
he would have.
If he wanted to, he would.
But
Like,
yeah, totally get it.
yeah,
Why did we just go sassy?
we
right
both
there?
did it. We both did it. We both put our fingers up too. If he wanted to, he would, sister. Okay.
He ain't texted you all day because he say he at work. He got 2 minutes to check his phone and text you, "Hey, beautiful." Don't you give in to that.
Right.
Don't
So
you
right
give
now,
in into that.
right now, in heaven, the angels are going to the God, and they're like, "If they wanted to, Lord, they would." Oh gosh. All right. You want to get
Wait,
into-
one more thing I wanted to say.
Go ahead.
One more thing I wanted to say about like that topic, and it may have just left me. So,
We'll give you a few seconds.
oh, I went through a stage of this
Of what?
where the conversation we just had,
Mhm.
that was like kind of like me, where I was like doing things and
Yeah.
I still felt like I had a relationship with God, but I knew I was backslidden like crazy.
Yeah.
And I would be like, you know what? I was meeting with God like almost every night too, and just like bawling my eyes out, like, oh my God, like I'm so sorry, I feel so bad. And then it like repeated. Of course, I
Yeah.
said like sin is hard. Sin is hard,
Yeah.
and you're not going to beat it
Nope.
by yourself.
Yeah.
That like that's the whole purpose of everything. Is like it's not that we're perfect. It's that we know that He's perfect, and we are in need of that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know. So I don't know. I went through a stage of that where this is why I hate having, not hate, but like I almost have some sort of like distaste in my mouth when I hear people being like, well, I believe in God. That's it. And then they live their life however they want, and they're like, well, I can just ask
Yeah.
for forgiveness. It's like, girl,
Not how it works.
baby, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
That is not how it works. Like, to repent literally means to turn away. Like,
Yeah.
you
Well, that's
are,
because God
like,
knows
you,
your heart and your mind.
You should be doing this.
Yeah.
My headphones aren't gonna let me, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you
Yeah.
should be, if you truly repent, like that desire is not. I mean, the desire is still gonna be there. You still might even fall into it.
Yeah. But you get better and better and better and better.
But like it's a real thing. It's a real thing, and there's people out there that literally just think like, well, I know that He's real. So
does the devil.
So does the devil.
Yeah.
So does little Legion 1-4. So does whatever
Yeah.
that demon's name is.
Do you
Like,
know
all of them.
every time that you make up a fake person, like Timmy in Warzone or Legion right now, like a demon that you just said, or some random person down the road, do you know that you always go, and then you say their thing, like, man, and then the numbers you use are always the same. Did you know that? Like Legion 1-4, man 1-4, and then it's usually a 3 after that. It's like in Warzone, Timmy 1-4, it's always 1-4 something. Usually 3. I've been keeping
I
track.
think I just said 1-2 something.
No,
just
you
now,
said
so-
1-4, and you can rewind.
Okay.
And you said 1-4.
Okay, we'll see. I might be wrong. Dang. Now I'm gonna make sure the numbers switch.
Oh yeah, you're gonna try, but you're not.
I'm going to.
Um,
You know what? You're gonna try, but you're not.
No, I'm recording. I promise you. Let's jump into gaming.
I was gonna bring up Mara, but okay, let's move.
Let's jump into gaming while I check to make sure that we're recording. Because now you got me scared.
Video games.
My favorite.
Games! I love games. I'm great at games.
Are you not recording?
We are recording. We are
Oh
recording.
my goodness!
We've been recording
Don't laugh
for
like that.
40,
That's the same laugh you did last time.
44 minutes, so we got to get moving here.
Okay.
All right, gaming. You guys know what's going on. Warzone, Vanguard, the new map just dropped. What are your thoughts, Rosa? We've been playing it for about a week now.
I haven't. I've been on Halo.
Okay.
I'm to the point with Warzone. Like, I've played it like maybe 5 times. And if I don't have a full squad, I am not
Okay.
putting
I mean,
myself
that makes sense.
through the mental stress and awfulness of it.
I
I refuse
Wait,
to play with randoms.
you say
anymore.
full squad, you mean like quads?
Anything.
Okay.
Like, anything.
You just don't want to play by yourself.
I do not want to play that map with someone else that I do not possess the knowledge of knowing.
I'm going to edit this clip of the podcast and then cue lonely Titanic music right after you say like that you don't have anybody to play with ever.
As you should. It's not that I don't have anybody to play with.
Yeah.
I hate saying this on stream because then there's like 7,000.
Nope, I
well,
know
not
what you're going to say. Yeah.
7,000. I'm not.
You need the
There's
right people, and you need your people
There's
to play
people
with.
in chat that's like, I'll play with you right now. What's your Activision?
No, yeah.
It's not like that. Like I want my homies. If I'm not
There's
playing
also-
without my if I'm playing
Yeah.
and my homies aren't on, you will not catch me on there.
Well, there's also like, let's be honest. There's people that we love, that I love, that are just not the best people to play and stream with. You know, like
You said it.
there's.
I'm
I mean,
glad you
I'll
did.
say it. I'll say it, and you know it's true.
I'll say it too. I'm
You
not
need
even
the
gonna lie,
right
but
people that are
Yeah.
like you need a certain type of vibe, character, not overpower. Like everybody. The other thing is everybody thinks like, oh, they're streaming, I've got to perform, and it's like, no, you just got to be you.
And please just chill.
And like, yeah, just chill. And if we vibe, we vibe. If we don't, we don't. But like, yeah, you
Yeah.
got to have the right people to play with.
and then there's like people like me, like not only the vibes and everything, out like vibes, gameplay, boom. I want
Yeah.
vibes more. But if I am popping off and
She
I'm
will yell at you.
playing with a rodent on my team, no, you've gotten a lot better. I gotta give it to you.
Somebody
Did you
from
turn your
your
sense down?
no, somebody
was
from your
Wiki. I
stream.
was in the
Yeah,
stream.
Wiki was like, I can't really make fun of you anymore because you've gotten a lot better at this game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's just
was
playing more.
watching you.
I've been
I was
playing a
like,
lot more.
You were doing really good, but you need
Yeah.
to lower your sense. Please make it a channel point redemption or something. Like it. Please, I'm parched. It's like literally just
what
one
sensitivity do
drop.
you play on?
I think I play on a 6.
Okay, can I tell you where
no,
I'm
I'll
at?
play on a 5.
You're on a
You're
5?
probably I'm on a 5.
You don't want to know where I'm at.
You're probably on like a 12.
You don't want to know where I'm at.
Do not tell me you are higher than 15.
You don't want to know where I'm at. So the
Steven.
max is 20. I just lowered it slightly, but I was playing on a 18-17, and I just lowered it to a 16-15 or a 15-14.
Hey, did you see one of those TikToks where this guy
No,
is
I
like,
just like it
like
more.
shirtless and he's like, if you play on a low sense, you're a bot.
No, it's not a guy.
Please.
It's like a 14-year-old cracked at Fortnite, like spinning and building.
Like
I just
this whole idea, if you play on a high sense, you're cracked out of your mind. Literally,
you just look cracked because you're spinning around, but you're not like, you know.
You just looked cracked because you're probably on
no,
methamphetamine.
listen,
Let's be serious.
I know somebody that plays 2020, and his KD is like a 1.9 on a 2020.
I mean, some
but he
people
can
it-
handle
it-
it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not for everybody. It
No,
is not
but-
for everybody, and it's not ideal or common for the average person either.
I just don't like
Like-
the low sense. I just don't like. I'm not having fun with it.
It makes
I need it
you
to move
more
quicker.
accurate.
I know, but I just enjoy it more.
Steven, literally,
When
I
I'm
was
s-
watching you the other day, and you were aiming at the ground. First of all, aiming at the ground. And
Okay.
somebody said something like on me or something, and you were like,
I was there.
Like,
I was there.
what-
I was there.
you were, yeah, you were over there. When I turned like that, I hit my elbow, and it's hurting really bad right now.
Because you can't handle high sensitivity. I can.
You're right. You're right, and I will be the first to admit it. High sense, you're dense. There we go.
Oh gosh.
That.
Listen, I've tried it.
Some of the stuff that comes out of my mouth, like literally.
Just be happy that I went from an 18-17 to I think right now I'm at a
I'm proud of you.
15-14.
I'm proud of you.
But
I'm very, very proud of you.
Don't be
But
excited for anything much lower. I like it. I like it. Besides liking that,
I'm excited for
I
South
have a
Africa.
theory. I have a theory that they made the map for the casual players, not for the big time high KD players.
See that?
And I think that's also part of the reason why I'm enjoying it. I love the new map. I love the changes to the game. I think it's way more competitive for the average player. Listen, I think if you got a 2.0 KD higher, yeah, you're probably missing the fact that you can't get your loadouts in 5 seconds.
Like it's a little boring. I'm not gonna lie.
See what I mean? You have a higher KD.
And I feel like it's a little like the terrain is crazy.
It plays like an Apex.
but it's also cool. Like I'm not hating it. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm not saying that I don't like it. It's just those are differences that I'm noticing.
I think it's become a different game than
Also,
what Warzone was.
Activision, if you listen to this, please fix your mantling. I repeat, the mantling in every single game that you make is absolute dog cheeks, and I'm sick of it. Sorry.
Dog cheeks. That's a new one. I
You
saw
can blow up rocks now.
I saw
I'm
Bad Bear
standing
Gamer.
in front of a rock. Like
Oh yeah,
this.
the mantling sucks. The mantling on the new rock. I mean, it's better, but it's still
On the new
yeah.
rock.
You know what I mean. So Bad Bear Gamer. He came out, and I thought he said it better than anybody. He's like, "Look, I'm gonna be honest and say it." He made a TikTok about it. He's like, they lost the casual player. Like, it was hard for the casual player, and I agree because I consider myself a casual player. They lost that player who works, comes home, doesn't have time to grind up a gun, get on the game, and then immediately die before first circle to somebody who has their loadouts quick and then has good loadouts to begin with. Like,
Right.
they or just the average player that doesn't have a high KD. They lost that. And games like Apex or games like even Fortnite has gained those people. Because, like, ask Omega. I started playing Fortnite a couple months ago. They definitely made these changes for the average player, and it's better. It plays more like an Apex. You have to be more strategic. You just because you have a 1 point whatever or 2.0 KD, go run around crazy like the map. I'm gonna shoot you because I've got better positioning now because the map is wide. Like, you just have to play more strategic, and I just think it's better for the average player. I'm sorry if you are sitting here and you're sweat. They definitely didn't make the changes for you. I'm sorry. Sorry, Rosa. They made the changes for me, not for you.
So I still had fun.
I like it. I do
Yeah.
like it better. I think it's smart. Is it perfect?
Drop.
No, but I like it.
We got 15. I got 15 kills that game that we won.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
A lot.
and like it was hot. Got a
Lot.
couple clips out of that too.
I hope they don't. People are talking about that they're going to bring back the old
Like,
loadout
I still
system.
think that there
I hope
is
they
an
don't.
ability. I still think there is an ability to have high kill games still.
Yeah,
Like,
not
I don't
as
think
much.
it's completely shot,
Not
but
as
it's
high.
definitely not like regular, old Verdants.
Well, I think you have my opinion, and I could be totally wrong. I do think that you have more competition now because you cannot come at me, a bot player, with your loadout. You have to come at me with what you found. And you are probably a better player, but I might have a better gun at
I
that
will
moment.
say, the fact that I've only played like a few times, like I mean less than 20. And each game I have picked up some weapon that literally, audibly, physically, every 6 kinds of different ways.
This is what I call
Whenever
it.
I shoot it, makes me want to vomit and slap my
It-
grandma in the face.
Like some of these
They
guns,
are trash.
some of
the
these
ground
guns-
loot guns
no.
literally need
they
in the
need
bottom
a
of the ocean.
seizure warning. They need a seizure warning after you pick it up because the whole
Bro.
thing just yes, the guns are a bit suspicious.
Gas animation
But-
too, just take it out. Take the entire thing out. I don't care if it magically just falls over my face and I don't see my character put it on.
No, I like it. I like it.
Bro,
Sorry, I gotta
of
disagree
course
with you
you
on this
do.
one. I do. I like
you
it.
gotta disagree with me on everything.
But then, what do you have at that point? You have Apex. Everything's magical. You've got to have
Nope.
some bit of like, I have 2 hands and I only have 1 hand free because I'm putting on a gas mask. I don't have
It's-
special abilities like an Apex. Come on, you
You're-
can't. You can't.
You're
How-
being real right now.
how would you
You're-
put on a
okay,
gas
okay,
mask?
if we're going there, okay. I shoot you 7 times and you go into a little room and put plates down your shirt.
Obviously, like you've got to. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but I'm saying there has to be a line that you stop at.
So
because
the
eventually-
line stops where
Yes.
a gas mask just doesn't magically come over your face.
Yes, but you can put plates on. Yeah, I think that's more realistic.
Okay. Okay.
Clearly, you and I are
They're
2 very different
soldiers.
players.
They are soldiers in with like the military already has like crazy stuff that we probably haven't. There's stuff out there we haven't even seen what it does. You're telling me that it's in the wild realms of ponies and rainbows and rabbits pooping Skittles. That like at the moment that if you have a gas mask on your head and you step into gas, it doesn't
I
automatically
will do
like
you one better because
inflate and come down.
I've thought this through, and I will do you one better. I think there should be a gas mask animation, but you should have a button that controls when you put it on and put it off. It should not happen in gas, because if I was in a gunfight and I was fighting through and I moved through the gas, my gun would be priority, not my face mask.
That's one I can get behind.
See what I mean? Just trust me on this. I know what I'm doing. I should be the pastor or the chaplain for Activision, so I could get these ideas out there.
5 seconds ago, you just said that it was
No,
basically
I think
magic and rainbows.
They should have it because it would be too much magic and rainbows. But I think you should be able to control it. And then and here's the thing. It would be more competitive. It would be more competitive because the gas mask meter would still go down.
The gas and stuff with that.
Yeah, it's better. I think it would be better.
That would be sick.
If I decided when I put it on and when I put it off.
Yeah,
boom,
you could really.
There solves all the
make some
problems.
plays with something like that. Yeah, you're right. But
I know. Wait.
Why I'm bringing this up.
It is no. It is 3:53 p.m. December 14th, 3:53 p.m. at 40 seconds. Rosa said I am right. I just want everybody to know that. You may go now.
What are you talking about? I've said you're right thousands of times.
It's not funny when you say the truth, Rosa. Go ahead.
Anyway, the only reason why I brought that up is because that game that we were playing, I could have had 17. I went in this window behind this guy, and I'm shooting him in the back, and he has no idea.
Oh, I was playing with you. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Literally broke plates. He was one more bullet. One more bullet. One more bullet. One more bullet. Okay, I had to say it again. The gas barely touches, literally, like, the gas barely touches my heels.
Yeah. For those of you guys that are listening to the audio version, we have real children with real needs, and Rosa's real children just showed up with real needs.
Barely touches my heels. My gas mask comes on, and I just start hip firing everywhere. He gets out the door, turns to the left or wherever, heels up, and of course, guess what? I'm dying in the gas.
That's why I think you should be able to control it. It should be like powered by something, and you should be able to control it, and you decide how much.
I'm not even finished with this monstrosity of an interaction.
You have real PTSD right now.
The gas stopped like at the doorway where he ran out and went left.
Yeah.
So of course I've got the gas mask on. I've already went through the animation of putting it on, which, of course, made me so angry. I go out the doorway, turn left because I know he's over there. And whenever I turn left, guess what happens? The animation to take the gas mask off.
Came on, yeah.
And he kills me.
Yeah. You've got to be more strategic now. Sorry. Hi, Noah. I think moral of the story, guys, the game has definitely changed. I think it's a different game. I think if you were expecting Warzone to be Warzone that it was, you are going to be a little bit sad about this because it's not the Warzone that it was. I think the game has definitely changed. It's a different game. It plays slightly different. It's got Warzone nostalgia, but it's not the Warzone that we knew. And with that being said, we're going to go into some nonsense, end this out the right way. Let's get into some nonsense.
Things about to get crazy!
Just basic nonsense.
Buckle up, Buttercup. Let's go.
Okay. One question for you right now, and then I've got a question for each other.
I hear stuff.
What do you hear?
I hear me and you.
Rosa, what are you hearing right now?
Ears.
I
hear you. I hear like our past episode or something. Oh, it's because it's playing on my PC.
Okay.
There's that.
Rosa, I've got two questions. One is about like you, like you're going to answer for yourself. Same for me. And the second question is about each other. First question is, how long do you think you would survive in a zombie apocalypse? Like right now, today, zombie apocalypse started with your life right now. How long do you think you would survive?
Realistically, I give myself like 4 months.
That was a really realistic answer.
Yeah.
You think 4 months?
Only 4 months. I feel like I would end up. Did you just see Natalie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went across your screen. The gnat that is in Rosa's room.
I really feel like 4 months. I would end up with the shape that my back is in, especially. You know? Because, I mean, backpack's got to come in somewhere.
Interesting.
So here I am, like panhandling, like paying people money just to be my pack mule, and then I would eventually run out of money, and somebody would like kill me for food and eat me or something. You know,
That
it'd be
was
something like that.
horribly accurate.
You
just went for that.
I did full face.
No hesitation.
Dove right in. How long do you think you would last?
I was thinking earlier than you, but now I'm thinking, I'm like, you know what? Realistically, a month's not that long. Realistically, if you ration out food, I'd probably last a couple months. Although I feel like my kids would give me up. You know, like I'd be in a room quiet, and I'd be like, kids, be quiet, and then my 3-year-old would be like, Daddy, I just pooped.
Yeah.
And in comes the zombies.
Literally, Noah would be like, "Mommy, there's a zombie!"
Yeah, exactly. Okay, my follow-up question to that is, this is going to be a quick nonsense session. My follow-up is, what do you think the other person's, like you and me, what do you think the other person's last words will be? And that doesn't have to be zombie apocalypse. It's just last words in general. What do you think my last words are going to be?
Like for real, for real?
Like just whatever you want to say.
Yours would be like, "Father, forgive me."
Do you want to know what I think your last words are going to be?
There's a man on me. What?
There's a man on me.
I knew it. I knew it.
As you just fade off into the
So in
abyss.
other words, you think I'm gonna die by being suffocated to death by a large man. That's how I go.
Or it's either that, or I thought this through. It's either there's a man on me, or can I get some support over here? And then you just
Wow.
pass.
Wow.
One of the two. There's
That's
really
accurate. That's kind of
nothing-
how it goes when we play Warzone.
Nothing but those two.
That's kind of how it goes when we play Warzone. Because Steven's literally in the East Coast, like, "Oh, there's a helicopter."
They're looking for a helicopter.
And now it's planes.
Say what you want, but
You're a good teammate.
we each bring something to this team.
Yeah.
Thank you. With my high sensitivity and all.
You're right. You're right. But you know, I need to stop. Like sometimes when I miss your streams, I'll go back and I'll watch. I'm one of the
You should not. You
podcasters,
should
by
not
the
watch
way.
my VODs.
And I was watching when we were playing together, and I am going off. I think I had like 13,
Uh-huh.
and I'm down the hill. You died, and you won your gulag, and you came back. You're floating in the air, and you're getting your guns. You landed on your loadout. You got your guns, and you go over the hill, and you look at me getting shot. And I'm like, "Put shots, please. Put shots, please." And you're literally, I can't even make this up. There is a small man floating in the air who goes over us complete. Like, at this point, he's a bird. He's a Natalie. And you're like, "This guy's gonna land on his loadout." No, he's not. You totally leave me to the wolves to die, to go kill the harmless little gnat.
Okay, can I explain my bot logic on this? Because it would make more. It's gonna add
He
context
thought he
to
was
the
gonna
story.
get his guns and he was gonna come up behind you.
No.
and shoot you.
No. I was not thinking about myself. I know exactly. I can picture the moment that you were talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. I turned around. I know exactly what you're talking about. Listen, I have a much, much, much lower KD than you do, right? And I know that going into these games. I know that a good amount of gunfights, I'm still going to lose, and a good amount of gunfights, you're still going to win, right? Okay, hear me through this. As the bot of the team, I statistically know that you're going to win majority of your fights. Thus, I let you said you already had 13. I let you win those fights knowing you probably don't need me. So knowing that you're probably going to have a little bit of health left, let me take care of this loser over here so
Right.
you'll be able to replay. I know it. I
You're
know.
right.
I know that, like, when you are in a
Get
fight,
your stuff, boy.
I know that when
That's
you're in
right.
a fight, you don't think that, but that is literally what goes through my head. I'm like, there's a good chance she's going to win that fight. It sucks that she did it, but there's a good chance she's going to win that. Let me take
I
care of
still
this
want
guy
it,
so she
by
can
the
play.
way.
See, there you
I
go.
still want it.
There,
Yeah.
exactly. There you go. That's my thinking. And I know
You
it makes no sense.
Talk y'all stuff. Right. Go take care of him.
It
You know
doesn't make
what?
sense, but that is what I'm thinking in that moment.
You know
I'm
what?
like
You're
like
right.
sometimes when I leave you, like when you're with like Spicy and I move away from a second, it's because I know 9 times out of 10, you might not, but 9 times out of 10, y'all gonna be okay, and you might be low health and you need a pickup or something real quick. That's how a bot thinks, because I know my place on the team, and I know that if I go in there, you're gonna probably have to revive me or have to jump over my body to then fight that guy. So I'm gonna just let you fight him majority of the time.
I was rewatching that VOD though, and I was just.
I know
laughing.
exactly what you're talking about.
Like,
I remember that
laughing
moment.
so
I
hard.
remember the moment. I got my loadout. I was on like a little thing. You were in a house, right? You were fighting in a house or something?
I was like outside of a house.
Yeah.
Well, outside of a crane type thing.
Yeah.
It was like a
And then
crane.
he like parachuted over me and dropped, and then I turned around. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. It was so funny though, because
That
you
was
were
literally
aiming
my
at
thinking.
me, and literally you looked up and you saw him in the air, and you were just tracking him through the air, and you were like, "He ain't gonna get it. He ain't gonna get it." And then like when I'm rewatching the VOD, it was like I was a viewer or something, you know, like
Yeah.
I completely forgot that I was even in the game at that point, because you went over there and you got him, and I'm like, "Oh, get his butt," you know, like I'm like hyping you up, like it's so funny.
Oh gosh. All right. So wait, question of the hour. Do you rename this episode 6 or episode 7? Because technically we had an episode 6. We just didn't record it. I think we go episode 7 and we just skip it and we let everybody ask in the future what happened to episode 6.
I don't know, it's gonna trigger my OCD whenever I go to our page now, and it's gonna go from 5 to 7.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, "Where's 6?"
Okay.
And people are gonna look at it and they're gonna be like, are these people stupid? Like they can't count?
That's true. That's true. Maybe we
Yeah.
should just go 6.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. Thank you guys for checking out another episode of the podcast. Again,
Leave it a review, leave it a review, leave a
exactly.
review.
If you're listening
Leave
to
a
the
review,
audio
leave a review,
versions, leave a review. If you're watching on YouTube, let us know in the comments what you think. It helps us. Smash that subscribe and follow button. Make sure you guys are following for alerts on Spotify and Apple.
I feel like you were just rapping just now, and I was like,
Did you know
a
we
sample
are
of
on
that.
Pandora as well now?
Yeah, I do
We're
actually.
on Pandora, and we're soon to be
Somebody
on Google.
told me.
That because he told me to.
Yeah, Navy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be on Google soon. Definitely leave a review. Thank you guys again for another episode. We'll catch you guys next week.
That was another episode of the Respawn Podcast. Don't cry. You can stay in touch with Rosa and Pastor Steven on their live streams right on Twitch. Don't forget to follow them on social media to stay in touch. We'll see you on the next episode.